Since so many of you have talked about how you argue or how you talk and how you'd really love to be able to talk about things more calmly, more constructively, I'm going to be talking about exactly that, how to have a constructive conversation. I first want to ask you, if for some strange reason you wanted to have a really bad conversation with your spouse when you're talking about something important, what sorts of things could you do that would ensure the conversation won't go well? Criticize. Let's keep going. Rolling your eyes. You always, you never. Bring things from the past. Yell, silence, exaggerating. Point your finger, literally point your finger. Body language. Talk about her mother, talk about his father, and name calling. You know what? You guys don't need a little course in how to have a constructive conversation. You need to quit doing all that. You know, you really are experts. You know when your conversations are going south. So I'm going to share with you some tips that I know work, that you know work, because there are many of the tips or suggestions that you just made, only in reverse. The first rule, has everybody heard the word using iMessages? You know what that's about? Where you're talking about how you feel about something rather than making a declarative statement about how something is. Instead of saying, you're trying to antagonize me, say, when you do X, I feel, and again, be really specific, I feel antagonized. When you talk about my mother, I feel antagonized. When you step in when I'm trying to discipline the children, I feel antagonized. Don't say you are trying to antagonize me. You don't know that. When you take ownership for your feelings, you are much less likely to trigger a defensive response in your spouse. Be concrete. Use video descriptions rather than adjectives. When you talk to your spouse, you're going to get a whole lot further if you talk about specific things that you'd like your partner to do in terms of actions. Don't say, I need you to be more loving. Say, I need you to do X. No mind reading. We talked about this. Here, let me give you some examples of mind reading. I see this in my counseling practice all the time. When this really starts an argument where one person will say, you did that to hurt me. They'll say, you don't know that. You can't say that. Or I could tell when you came home last night you were in a really bad mood. No, I wasn't. I could tell you were. Don't say these things. It's like pushing a button. Now, this is an important thing. Feelings aren't right or wrong. They just are. We're entitled to feel the way we feel. It's not right or wrong. It's the way we see things. And we need to stop telling our spouses that they're wrong about their feelings. They're entitled to their feelings as well. Stick to the point. Don't jump around from one place to another because that's exasperating and you'll never get anything done. No exaggeration. Never exaggerate. Always don't exaggerate. You know, this is, again, I watch couples and they'll say, you never take the garbage out, or you're always on the phone when I come home at night. Those things cannot be true. Nothing happens that often with that much consistency. And again, your spouse will not hear what you're saying, which is, I really wish you weren't on the phone so often. I'd like for you to greet me. And they'll focus on the fact that you're saying it happens all the time. You're defeating your purpose. Listen selectively. In the midst of a heated conversation, your partner will throw some zingers your way. And when you get really, really experienced at this stuff, when you get a lot of expertise, what you can begin to do is ignore the zingers. Let them sort of be deflected like this. And if your partner says anything that's productive, focus on that and get back on track. If you can do that a couple times, let a couple of zingers go, usually you'll find that your spouse recognizes that you let those things go. You don't even have to talk about it. And he or she will be more cooperative for the rest of the conversation. This is so important. Please listen. This will be very valuable. Unless your spouse is deaf, he or she has heard you. If you recognize that your spouse has heard you, you need to stop arguing. You need to stop the conversation, zip it, and then watch what happens in the next few days. I bet you will be really surprised that your spouse's behavior will often change to meet your requests if you don't spend hours driving your point home. Just be quiet and then watch what happens.